All right. So it's a lot of heads. It's a lot of friendly faces, actually, people we already know. So first of all, for starters, I want to take a minute to thank everyone to be here today with us. I'm Terry Proto. I'm CEO of Virtual Reality Marketing. And I always give my little intro, so some of you should be familiar. The past few years, we've been on a mission to connect enterprises with leading XR creators. Photorealitymarketing.com is the largest showcase of immersive companies. We host more than 3,000 XR creators on our website. We've built over the years the largest library of AR and VR case studies with more than 500 plus case studies across all business verticals. We've got this cool community, and this whole event exists because with the largest online XR community. It's a group called Reality Innovators Network on LinkedIn. And we're really proud that we are more than 67,000 members now. And we're also a business consultancy specialized in AR and VR. And really, our goal is really to be the guide to the business metaverse and inspire, educate, and facilitate immersive business. And one thing I always like to say also is that if you need help finding the right metaverse partner, or if you're in the industry and you want to share news about what you're working on, our audience of immersive professionals, we can help, and you should get in touch with us at hello@virtualrealitymarketing.com. And today I want to give a few thanks to Michelle Deborah, who's over here with the red hats, and as well as the team of red cowboy hats, which are spread around the house, because all of these guys are making sure that everything is running smoothly for everyone today. I want to thank also Kevin Smith. I don't think Kevin has been able to make it today. The team of Spine as well for hosting us in their beach house. Spine is one of the most prestigious 3D visualization company. And the cool thing about this beach house that we are in today is that it's a house that actually exists. It's a house that's in Miami. The address is 135 Palm on one of the islands. And fun story is that this house, Spine has created the high definition visualization of the house that's perfectly photorealistic, and also a high definition VR version of the house, also perfectly realistic. That's great when you're using, very powerful PC hardware. But we're in the lower definition versions that's compatible with more hardware, like the Quest that everyone is using. So it's not as perfect, but the cool story about this house is that it's a real house, it exists, and you can visit it in the real world. And I also want to very publicly wish a happy birthday to Sophia Moshasha, my co-host today. So, everyone take a minute to wish a birthday to Sophia.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
And about today's theme, from avatar to digital humans. Well, as you know, avatars are everywhere in the metaverse. Everyone on this beach, save for those two guys over there, avatars are real people, and they're how we choose to represent ourselves in a virtual world. And, hi, oops. And most of the time they are very simplistic and cartoony, like, the ones we have in all space. But the flip side of that, we keep hearing about digital humans, and I'm sure some of you have seen very photorealistic virtual 3D characters, in the latest games and movies. And one question we always hear is like, why is this gap? Why are 3D characters sometimes cartoony and sometimes hyper-realistic? And today, well, we've got amazing speakers who will tell us more about how avatars and digital humans are created, and what's the difference between the two. And one more thing about our speakers, not only are they very talented people, but they're also joining us from Ukraine today. So I want to take 1 minute to congratulate them and everyone in their country for their bravery in the difficult context. So Sofia, can you please introduce Stas and Andre?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we're so happy to have them join us today. Very meaningful in a lot of ways with the current times that are going on now, knowing that they can still keep up with business in this global economy, as well as the topic that we have to discuss today, which is one of my favorite topics, which is avatars and virtual humans. So we have Stas and Andre from Deep 3D Studio. Welcome, guys, wherever you are. There you go. Hi. And
Hi,
so
everyone.
we'll start out with hi. So we'll start out with I know they
Hi.
have a we'll start out with a couple questions. I'll guide some conversation just to get things started. I know they have some slides to show also, but please do submit your questions or comments or whatever it is, and raise your hands, because we will be taking questions potentially during the conversation and definitely after as well. So with that, Andre or Stas, if you want to go ahead and just briefly introduce yourselves and what you guys do.
Yeah, sure. So,
Yes,
hello,
I
everyone.
think
Again, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for this amazing opportunity to make a short presentation. Yes, so actually, yeah, we're a photogrammetry studio based in Ukraine, and we'd like to show you and to tell you more about our avatars and overall picture of avatars in metaverse and VFX. So we will tell you more about the difference between VFX and metaverse avatars, and of course you can see even some of examples right here. So it's our models we made with our scanner, and you can just see the difference a little bit with all of us here.
yeah, and also my name is Andrew. I'm creative director at Deep 3D Studio, and I will help Stas with his presentation, and I answer some technical questions, and let's move on, I think.
Awesome. And I see we're already getting some hand raises, which is great. So keep them raised and we'll get to you soon. But I'd love for you all to just start with maybe the origin story of avatars as a whole, and maybe why they are a foundational aspect for the coming of the metaverse and why it's important for freedom of expressions.
Yeah, sure. Of course, avatars is a core of any metaverse, because all of us need some expression, and we need some I don't know, some shape that will represent ourselves. It could be like a photorealistic one as we are in real life. It could be like some cartoonish one. It could be like anything actually we can just imagine. And the main question may be what are the restrictions, why we right now cannot use all the variety of such avatars. And actually, we'd like to tell you why from our expertise, because we spent more than 3 years already making exactly avatars for big movies. I'm sure you saw a lot of them for big brands, fashion ones, and that's why we know we can tell you about it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so we can start. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I guess talk to us about some of the current capabilities of avatar creation, and I guess you could point to some examples of what you guys are doing to kind of expand those capabilities.
So we, as Stan say, we are photogrammetry studio, and we do our avatars based on scan data of real people. So we have like our product side where we scanning people, scanning different like expression, facial emotion, different like poses, and use all this data to make like fully animatable digital character based on it. But most of our like clients use it in VFX like movies and games, and we are thinking about how to optimize our avatars so it can be used in the future in metaverse. How to make it technically like not so heavy and so everybody can maybe in nearest future can do her own avatar based on just photos and represent herself or himself inside metaverse as it in real world. So see, Stan, you have some.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. So you can see, for example, here are some of examples of our works. So we classify them like kind of low quality models because we are aiming on like quality models, but it's great that we can implement them here. So I'm very grateful for the team of Michelle that they helped us to like install them here, so you can actually see from all the sides our 3D models, so our work, and it can be used for any purposes. So right for now, like a static objects, but I think in the nearest future we'll all be able to use them as our own avatars.
You guys mentioned photogrammetry. Can you talk a little bit about how that works and what that is? Because I'm sure there's some people in the audience that aren't quite sure what that is.
Sure. I suggest to go through our presentation because we can show everything, so everybody
please
will.
Do. Go for it.
Sure. Great. Okay. So yeah, as I said, we are a photogrammetry studio from the heart of Ukraine, Kyiv, and yeah, right now we are facing kind of hard times, but we found out that the main goal for us is to keep economy stable. So we keep doing what we know the best. It's actually digital avatars creation, digital doubles creation, and our core expertise. We use them, as Andrew said, scans. We work mostly with scans, with full-body scans, with head scans. We use both of them to create really great-looking avatars. So the one, I think most of you remember the presentation of Mark Zuckerberg with his Meta, when he showed his vision of the metaverse and of the avatars. And here you can see that he's showing his avatar, which looks kind of cartoonish one. Another one example is, of course, the CEO of NVIDIA. So again, it's an example of some kind of cartoonish one. As we all see right now in ArtSpace VR, it's kind of the same, like not the same we see ourselves in the mirror. And the main question, of course, for all of us could be when the day will come when we will be able to use such avatars as we can see in the mirror in the metaverse. So it's an example of our work. It's the head of our co-founder, Evgeny. On the left, you can see his real photo, and on the right, you can see the 3D model, which was made by us. So you can take a look at all the wrinkles, all the skin pores, all details. It's kind of our hyper-realistic model made mostly for our VFX clients. like movies, music videos, advertisements. So why we cannot find such models in the metaverse right now? To answer this question, we need to understand the complete difference between graphics and real-time rendering. So here on the screen you can see the result of the rendering. So you need to create a scene in the special software, rendering software, and just to wait while your processor will make everything for you. And real-time rendering is completely another story. When everything is happening actually in real time, yeah, using your graphic processor, so it's more power, and it's like a lot of restrictions come in using like this real-time rendering. Space VR is an example of Unity software. So there are two game engines. I think you related to them, like it's Unreal and Unity. So Unity is more focused on mobile devices, on their low quality models that can easily opened on kind of, for example, mobile phones, kind of big variety of the devices. And that's why like most of us right here are looking kind of such cartoonish way, because these models are not so heavy as we see on the screen right now. And Unreal, for example, is more focused on heavy models. Or Epic Games move fast in creating amazing quality content, and actually that's why it's only a matter of time, I can say, when hardware will upgrade, and of course software somehow we will be able to use them. Drew, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I just want to mention that Yevgen is already here. One of you is Yevgen, our co-founder on the screen. So he is like our demo model. We can send everybody this sample, so you can check quality by yourself inside your render, inside your system, and give us some feedback, maybe.
Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
our
We
test
can
model,
move
so
forward.
actually everybody could use it and test it. So just write to us, and we will just give this opportunity to you. So to get such a model, of course, main question is how you can get it, and it's all based on scans. So here is an example of our scanner. Andrew can tell more about it.
Well, yes, I will tell briefly about our system. So it's look like a portal, but it's our custom-made photogrammetry system based in Kiev, Ukraine. But we have already moved to Lviv. It's like Western cities, and it's more safe for now. And we will continue scanning in the middle of May, I think. So on the left side, it's our past model of full body scanning system with white background. And on the right side, this is like cross polarization system for heads, for scanning only heads. Contain like 86 DSLR Canon cameras, cross polarization filters. So it's all of this give us opportunity to make high quality 16K textures and high poly model, and we use it as a base for the avatar creation in the future. So we did this Canon system first scratch, and also we have like some vendors, some studios from all over the world, in London, in California, in South Korea, and we connected together. And I think we can scan anyone and process the data locally in Kiev, Ukraine, or Like, so it's not a problem. The lack of such a scan system, it's not a problem, I think, in the future.
Yeah. So actually, you can find such scanners almost in all big cities in the world, and it's actually like a close community. So you are able kind of stand is in this portal metaverse and became digital. So it's like a great opportunity actually to dive into metaverse with your own body, and it's really cool. You can also actually also see that the left one is kind of light one and the right one is black. It's because of the different light system. We're experimenting with the best system for the best quality, and we found out that such a black tint is better to achieving like a high quality models. So it's actually an example of understand to explain you and to show you how everything is happening. So we had such a task, create the first photorealistic view of Benjamin Franklin. I think you all know him mainly from the 100 banknote, and actually he has no pictures at all because he died before the invention of camera. So we had a task to recreate him, make his first photorealistic view in the history, and that's how we actually did it. We made a casting, so we found a guy who is kind of similar to a real Benjamin Franklin with all his shape of the head. We scanned him in our setup, you can see. And then we used his scan as a base to resculpt. So we aimed to make this great-looking model. It's actually a manual.
Yeah, so we have like a big team of character artists and sculptors in real life, and then we use the scan as a base and make all the sculpting manually. Some processes are automatic. In this case, we use like manual sculpting, digital sculpting. And this is like hair recreation. Hair is problematic in digital world, so you create it inside Xgen and then export to Unreal and Unity also.
It's actually manually worked too, so all eyelashes, all brows, all hairstyle, they need to make this final render. You can see like this picture of Benjamin Franklin is on the $100. So
That's awesome.
That's excellent. Congratulations, guys.
thank you. So actually, it's typically most of our work right now. So we are making such avatars for different purposes. This for VFX, or kind of metaverses, or digital art. And the pipeline for most of them are pretty the same in different studios. So we kind of one little wheel is all this machine of creating avatars.
Awesome. Thank you guys. We have about 5 minutes left for QA, so I just wanted to get to a few of the questions that we had from the audience. First, we have Bronco. Bronco, go ahead. Okay, we'll get back to Bronco. Let's go with Zoe. Okay. All
Sorry,
right.
can you hear me?
Yeah, Zoe,
Yes.
we got you.
Oh, sorry. There were a million menu items that came up at once, so they were all like overlapping each other. Sorry. Just a second. Thank you so much for this presentation. It's amazing. Yes, yeah, I think that what you kind of touched upon, it's not necessarily a question, but it's more just a commentary about, the certain technology as it stands right now, it takes a lot of processing in order to get these kinds of avatars that are so realistic. But meanwhile, we have these cartoon kind of characters, and the gestures alone and some of the at least the face tracking and eye tracking are going to be really, I think, you should say, almost more important too, because they kind of give us the meaning behind it. So, as much as these are going to be great for gaming and things like that, like, what is the timeline, do you think, of seeing these kinds of avatars, across different platforms?
It's depend on the final platform. It's take us about 2 weeks to process one high quality digital avatar, and we usually do like 20 of them, and we understand that to scan everybody in the world and to process everybody in the world using this pipeline is quite hard, but and everybody now working on tools, on hardware and software tools, on how to
it's come a place where people are publishing information, right? Everybody can have their own homepage. Companies are there.
Sophia, I think you need to mute yourself. Sorry about that.
But it's okay. But I think our studio and studio around the world, we make like a base knowledge of photo characters, and working together with some software engineers and some combined. We will combine all the solution in one, so everybody can be real in VR soon. Hope so.
But if you allow me one comment, Andre, I think part of the answer you were looking for, Zoe, was you asked like, when can we expect this level of quality for avatars on platforms? It's also the short answer, I guess, is hardware processing. Getting to this visual quality requires powerful hardware, and right now, for instance, the headsets that everyone is using, the Quest, is running on a mobile hardware, so it's a kind of the equivalent of the 3D processing power you have on the phone. And you need to get to a place where you've got the rendering power of a supercomputer inside of the form factor of the phone. And that's going to take anywhere from 5 years to, I don't know, something like that. But it's going really quick. So later this year, Apple is going to come out with a headset that has the power of a MacBook Pro inside of the headset. So it's coming really quick. I think we're a few years, I would say personally 5, 10, from getting to a place where you can have more realistic avatars for everyone.
Those are great, both great answers. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you.
Awesome. Let's get to another question. We have a lot of them, actually. Thank you, Zoe. Brian.
Yeah, hi, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. I always am amazed by every discussion. I have a more of a philosophical question. Now, the closer we get towards ultra-realistic avatars and ultra-realistic environments, some might call it the uncanny valley, which is almost scary in some ways. What your thoughts are we going towards a direction of separating ourselves from our own humanity? And if so, how do we avoid that from happening with the beauty of this technology?
Well,
for this one.
question for me.
I can take it.
I can briefly. Yeah, please.
Sure, go ahead. No, yeah. So I don't think we're separating ourselves from our humanity at all. I think, like all things, it's yet another tool that's going to be on our tool belt. Like, for instance, all of us are connected in this beach house. I'm in Asia, Sophia is in Washington, Tas and Andre are in Ukraine, and we are more connected than ever. It's a very human event. And it's just that we are using the latest technology to do that to serve us. And one of the cool things of avatars, for instance, I keep saying that I like to talk with my hand, and you may not have high definition graphics yet, but the way I move and the way I talk for people who know me is very much me. So if anything, I find it's more connected to myself and disjointed. That's my answer.
Okay, thank you. I can add some notes, my personal notes. Like personally, me, I like real life more than like virtual life and games. But this is great tool. Like you can use the like virtual world and real one. For example, yes, now we in Ukraine and hiding from bombs, but now we can connect with you and discuss some business topics and anything else, like entertain ourselves. And this is quite fun. And we believe this is the future that can connect people even more than just social media, because it's so distant for me. I feel myself like near the sea, and it's quite impressive. Even with this kind of cartoonish avatars, it's impressive already. Thank you.
Okay, maybe we have time for one more question, Sophia.
Yep. The next one that we have here, wow, we have so many questions. Sorry that we didn't get to all of them. And I just want to say that for any other questions that you guys have, please do reach out to us at info or hello. Is it hello at Virtual Reality Marketing? And we'll get these,
it's hello.
these questions.
It's really just behind you. So hello at virtualrealitymarketing.com.
Yeah. Yeah. Please do stream those questions over and we'll get them answered for you. The next one that we have, the last one is Tech Nicole.
Hi, technical. Yeah. So I have a question just about kind of culture. Is it more challenging we often hear that, right? So, as an African American woman, I hear that, representation isn't easy to create, but this seems to be extremely detailed and evolved. So are you seeing those kinds of challenges when you are recreating different ethnicities and cultures when you are doing your renderings?
Yeah, I can answer this question. So we have like experience working with our client Action XYZ from France. They like did the best one textures and digital avatars and for everybody, and we provide like scanning for them and scan about 50 people, different ethnicity and gender and age. And of course, we have some tips during the scanning process of different types of skin, but but pipeline for everyone almost the same. As I say, and you can look at the result on Texture XYZ website. You'll be amazed by variety of different ethnicity and the quality. The textures. So please.
But even now, I would like to say that, for example, right here you can see examples of the models I already showed you that were scanned at our studio. So a guy and a girl right to me, and actually we have lots of such models, and you can find like them on the internet and on different stocks. So the great opportunity, for example, for ArtSpace VR particularly, that you can upload them and use them creating your own worlds. So it's a kind of big world library of different objects that can be used for any purposes. I think the case when the church was burnt in Paris. I remember, I think in Paris, and it was a great disaster, and nobody knows how to create it. And the only model was there from their game.
what is the name of this game? Andrew, do you remember? Assassin's Creed.
It was Assassin's Creed, and it's
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's
sorry to interrupt.
amazing case.
We're running a little over time now, and thank you all for the questions. I really appreciate it. And we have about 15 minutes left for a breakout, which is a little less than we anticipated. Then again, we had plenty of questions. So it would be awesome of you to split out, you know, how the house works. Got 4 different breakout areas. One is on the beach, and we've got 2 inside of the house, the ground floor, and 1 over there, and use the rest of the time to move on to breakouts. And again, I want to thank you, Stas and Andre, for the talk and the questions. That was amazing.